the song starts in G minor, and you start by hammering from the flat 7 to the root, which is the first fret on the low E to the third fret on the low E, or F to G. And then you're going to hit the first fret on the A string, which is the B flat. But you're also going to have the D and the G string open. Kind of creates like a major minor 6 kind of thing. And then back to the flat 7th to the root. So it's... And then right in between restarting that lick, you do just 2 clicks. So it's... And the next part is the 3rd fret to the 5th fret on the A string, or C to D. And then you hit the 3rd fret on the D string. And then you're going to slide from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the D string. And then you're going to move up with your index finger and put it on the 7th fret of the G string, and then hammer on to the 9th fret of the G string. And it's basically groups of 4, so it's... So you can kind of count them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you're feeling crazy. So the verse is basically just an alteration of the intro, and you're hammering on from the same flat 7 to the root, or F to G. And you're going to upstroke right there. So it's... You know what I mean? So you're... And then what gets weird is the... So you do a hammer-on pull-off from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret on the A string. But then you're going to roll your index finger up, hit that flat 7th root, and then go right back into it. So it's... Hear how you hit that G string, or the G on the low E twice. You know? It's very cool, because normally you would go... If you were in G, you would normally go back to the root, and it's just kind of cool that it goes to F. So this next part, you're kind of doing like an F minor 7 to an F sharp minor 7. But basically, you're going to put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. And then with your pinky, you're going to bar the B and the high E string on the 4th fret. Right? And you're going to do that twice. Right? And you just move the same shape up, just a half step. So now your ring finger is on the 4th fret of the D string, and now you're barring the B and the high E on the 5th fret. And then what's really cool is when he comes back into the verse, he frets the 6th fret on the B and the high E, which is kind of like a G minor 7, and then he shoots back to the root. So it goes, which is cool because like it's a huge jump, and it really transitions those 2 parts very well. So the chorus starts with an E major chord twice, and then you're kind of alternating between a D sus2 and a G sus2. So you're going to put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the high E, and with your pinky, you're going to start with it on the 4th fret of the G string, but you're going to do a weird kind of... So you're pulling off, or not pulling off, you're just, you're going back and forth between the D sus2 and the G sus2. So pretty much you're just releasing your pinky and going from the 4th fret on the G string back to the 2nd fret on the G string, and in kind of a quick way, and it just sounds really cool. then just back to the A, which is very simple, you know, and again. And then right here, this is a really cool lick. So with your middle finger, you're gonna put it on the 4th fret of the G string, and with your ring or your first finger, you're gonna put it on the 3rd fret of the high B, and you're gonna kind of give it like a weird half step bend, and then just release it. So and then you're going to open strings. So you're going, which is just a really weird sound, but it makes a song because it's right in that open gap. And then right there. And then just a low E, which is cool because that alterates. Because in the next chorus, I think it's, which is just super rad. The solo for this song is weird, and it's kind of like all the solos on Blood Sugar. He's never really played it the same way twice, it seems, you know, and he's kind of like Jimmy Page a little bit on this. Like, he plays it sloppily, but it's so cool, you know. So it starts with, you're gonna hammer on from the 15th fret of the G string to the 17th fret, and then do a pull off, and then you're gonna pull off to the open G. So it's, you know, and you're just gonna keep hitting the open G with your picks. You're gonna go, and then right here he just moves his ring finger up a half step. So now instead of the 15th fret to the 17th fret, you're going from the 15th fret to the 18th fret, which is cool. And then he just switches to just pulling off the 15th fret to the open G string. And then he's gonna go from the flat 7 to the root, but on the high G, which is the 10th fret to the 12th fret on the high G. But in the middle of each hammer on, he opens the G string, which is cool. He goes, which just gives it a cool. So slow is. You know, which is cool. And then for the next part, he just starts. This is a cool like funk thing you would do, like, you know. So you're kind of like half step bending up this B string on the 11th fret, and then you're also fretting the high E string on the 10th fret, and he's going. And basically that is just you're doing a pull off with your ring finger from the 12th fret of the high E to the 10th fret of the high E. So. And then right here, he takes that same shape and he goes and moves it to the 13th fret of the B to the 12th fret of the high E. Same shape. And then on the next part, he makes it minor. So normally that would be considered a major, you know, because it's the major third. And he goes from the 15th fret of the B and the 13th fret of the high E. And he basically just keeps moving that same shape up. So if you're on the 15th fret of the B and the 13th fret of the high E, you bring it up to the 17th fret of the B and to the 15th fret of the high E. And then you go to the 19th fret of the B to the 17th fret of the high E. And just one last half step to the 20th fret of the B and the, I believe, 18th fret of the high E, I think. And again, like, that's going to sound weird every time because I don't think he was consciously doing something. He was just, it's probably multiple takes and it's probably just some cool thing to end it with. But it's really hard to recreate, so it's not going to be perfect, but you'll be able to jam to it and kind of feel like you're making the solo your own, you know?